Do you understand how ridiculous you look complaining about gender norms under all that contour and highlight? Jesse Watters spends a lot of time warning Americans about the dangers of drag queens and gender-nonconforming men. But every night on Fox News, he goes on television wearing a full face of makeup, foundation, contour, bronzer, highlighter, the whole thing, which raises an obvious question. How can you defend and promote gender norms while sitting on television in full glam?
Meet the new face of the Navy. So that's Joshua Kelly, whose stage name is Harpy Daniels. Harpy advertises how great the Navy is by dressing in drag, putting on makeup, doing his hair and nails, and singing and dancing.
Meanwhile, Jesse Watters advertises how great Fox News is by dressing in a suit and a tie, putting on makeup, doing his hair and eyebrows, and talking to the camera. You're doing the same thing as Kelly, bro, putting on makeup to entertain an audience. That's the Jesse Watters makeup paradox. Historically, wearing makeup has been associated with femininity. Traditional masculinity norms tend to discourage men from visibly enhancing their appearance with cosmetics. At the same time, beauty standards have long placed pressure on women to look a certain way. That pressure exists across politics. But in the conservative culture of today, that pressure often takes one specific aesthetic. You might have heard of the term Mar-a-Lago face. It's used to describe a particular look common among some women in the Trump era. It usually involves cosmetic procedures and heavy, sometimes dated makeup meant to exaggerate traditional feminine features. Think lip fillers, sculpted cheekbones, jaw contouring, heavy eye makeup, spray tans, and dramatic lashes. Figures like Kristi Noem, Kimberly Guilfoyle are often mentioned as examples of this look. And the fact that so many women adopt the same look suggests there is a social pressure to conform. But that pressure to conform also affects men. In many conservative spaces, masculinity is performed through traits like strength and toughness. Caring too much about your appearance can easily be viewed as unmanly. Men wearing makeup are portrayed as a threat to manhood itself. Masculinity is often defined by all sorts of behavioral rules about what men should and should not do. And no one illustrates that better than Jesse Watters himself. Watters famously laid out his own rules for men. According to him, real men should not drink from straws, should not cross their legs, should not eat soup in public, should not wave with two hands, and most importantly, for the sake of this video, men should not Photoshop their photos. According to him, airbrushing your appearance makes a man a woman. Which is ironic because that's exactly what television production does for him every night on Fox News. Before he goes on air, Watters sits in a makeup chair where professionals apply a ton of cosmetic products to his face and perfectly style his hair. The lighting is carefully calibrated to smooth shadows, and like many modern broadcasts, Fox News appears to use an on-air filter that softens skins and reduces imperfections. I think that's how they achieve the glowing look that also appears matte. It's very uncanny valley. In other words, Jesse Watters is fully airbrushed on television every night with makeup, lighting, and production to smooth his face. Yet he says men should not edit their photos at home. What kind of double standard is that? And maybe that's why you're drinking from a straw, Jesse, so you don't mess up your makeup, even though you literally made a rule saying men should not drink from a straw. Now, to be fair, MAGA men are known to be high maintenance, and they love serving makeup looks on TV. Who can forget Matt Gaetz' paint job at the RNC? Apparently, Pete Hegseth had a makeup room installed at the Pentagon for when he makes TV hits. Very coquette of him, although he denies the reports and seems embarrassed about it. Vice President J.D. Vance is famous for previously serving eye makeup realness. You might have seen Ben Shapiro's new eyebrows. And of course, the supreme leader of the conservative movement, Donald Trump, has a nature-defying orange glow. And just to be clear, there's nothing wrong with men wearing makeup. I'm wearing makeup right now. I've got studio lights blasting my face and I've got a 4K camera a foot away from my face. I use primer, tinted moisturizer, under eye brightener, and some blush just to look presentable on camera. But unlike Watters, I'm not spending my evenings warning Americans about the dangers of drag queens. With his glam beat, Jesse Watters embodies perfectly the gender-conforming contradiction in right-wing media circles. How can you look straight straight into the camera and complain about a Navy officer wearing makeup when you're sitting there in a full beat yourself? Jesse, you literally sat in a chair while a makeup artist aggressively contoured your face before going on television to complain about men wearing makeup with studio lighting, with production smoothing everything out, possibly with an on-air beauty filter, drinking water from a straw. Meanwhile, Kelly is out there putting her life on the line for your nation. Bro, be serious. And it gets even more hypocritical when you think about what the makeup is actually doing. Jesse's makeup is designed to make him look more masculine on screen. The contour sharpens his jawline, defines his temple, and straightens the lines of his nose so his face appears more square and traditionally masculine under studio lighting. In other words, it's gender-affirming makeup on a guy who keeps complaining about gender norms. Do you understand how ridiculous you look complaining about gender norms under all that contour and highlight? This is the same political movement that constantly attacks gender-affirming care, and yet they're perfectly comfortable with gender-affirming cosmetics when they help reinforce a traditional masculine image. Drag performers get mocked for wearing makeup, gender-nonconforming men get criticized, but when Jesse wears makeup to look more square-jawed on camera, suddenly it's just part of the job. So maybe the issue is not makeup, maybe the issue is who's wearing it and what kind of gender performance it supports. Regardless, Jesse, you look a mess. It's not even good makeup. And if you really believe what you're saying about masculinity, then you should go on air every night with no filter, no makeup, and perform the version of masculinity you want other men to perform.